Everybody ready? Yeah! All right, now here we go. A one, a two, a one,
Let's get it on. We are 1/3 of the way through the fantasy season, and it is a glorious day to be back with the Get Sunday Covered podcast. I'm your host, as always, Cody, and I'm with my best friends in the world, Jordan and Brandon. And fellas, do we have a lot to cover? Welcome back.
What it do? How we feeling, boys?
Welcome back, everybody.
Much better than I was last week.
Hey, you said you were scraping away for a win. You needed one desperately. You got it. Congratulations.
$41 well spent on Kareem Hunt.
It's a lot of fab.
Yeah, that was a lot of spent.
But
I was 1-3, guys.
Hey, it worked. Got you a dub. I did the same. I spent like 66 after week 1. Got myself a dub, so clearly it works.
Facts. Jordan kind of working some of his Jordan magic. I'm going to need you to do that again this week, man. Put it together. Get us all a win.
I mean, I'd like to do it again because I'm playing Seamus this week, and I speak for the rest of our league. Like, no one wants Seamus to win. Like, everyone wants me to win. So I'm going to try to do that for the league and for myself. We'll see what happens with Seamus if I do win. Not really out here to talk too much shit to Seamus. Yeah, I just hope we all win again. And I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting, especially if me and Brandon win this week. Our division's pretty crazy again.
For first in
Yeah.
our division. Jordan, I do want to just give you a shout out for speaking it into existence. All 3 of us getting dubs over the weekend. You spoke that into existence on last week's pod, so thank you, my friend.
Hey,
you're magic, man.
That's where the 90% luck comes in. 10% skill is me speaking. So
there you go.
That's all that matters.
I gotta tell you, man. I look forward to this matchup between you and Seamus this week. You know, I know you guys kind of both keep your distance a little bit. You keep it out of the chat between each other, but for those of you guys that are listening and or watching, go back and watch some of our player exclusives from last year. These two have got some history, and they're both doing pretty well right now. So I look forward to it.
This little thing called some beef.
And I'm trying to gas you up, and I'm trying to gas him up, so you guys can gas each other up, which is exactly what I did with Joe this week. And I'm really glad that it worked out in my favor, because if it didn't, man, I was talking way too much crap to show my face on this podcast if I lost.
Joe, I know you watched the episode. You may want to just make sure you watch it on YouTube and check out Cody's name, because spot on. All right, buddy.
Sorry, Joe.
Leave that one for the guys that are on YouTube, and if you want to see it, go check it out.
Go drop a comment too.
Seamus, sorry, one more thing to Seamus. He does have a pretty solid team. It's guys he has have stepped up big time and are playing good for him. So he has a scary good team. So good job on your draft, Seamus.
Threw up the highest point total
Whitney this week.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm excited for it. Let's get it going.
Yeah. Keep it going, Seamus. Don't back down from this, man. Talk your shit. All right, guys, we do have a lot to cover this week, so I want to just jump right into it. Like always, I got a quick question for you. We talked last week about, if you could be born into a sports city, somewhere else that you're unfamiliar with, somewhere that you think would be cool. I'm going to take it one further. With all of these sports back, I'm looking at all the teams and all the mascots, and I get kind of obsessive about it. So I got to thinking to myself, well, if you had all the money that you wanted, all, this opportunity that you could have to start an NFL team in some random place, where would it be? And what would your mascot be? Because I'm looking at some of these newer mascots that are coming out, and they're kind of funny. They're kind of some of them are okay, I guess. Shout out Utah for not being a part of either of those things. What do you guys got?
All right. Well, since you mentioned Utah, I'm going to jump right on that. But I do have a surprise for you boys. I know we had kind of prepped this before the pod this week. So I want to introduce you boys to the Salt Lake Shredders. This is the concept I came up with. And here's a helmet design.
Dope.
So
awesome.
something a little different, but just an idea that kind of popped into my head for the week. And, just wanted to kind of go with the Salt Lake Shredders, especially with Utah just getting the hockey club. They have the Jazz for basketball. It's a good sports town. Gonna be
Dude,
hosting
honestly,
Olympics
bringing
and-
that hockey team to Utah, they've only got room to grow for a cool mascot or a cool team name, man. Like,
I mean, let's be real. The Jazz have never won anything since they've been in Utah. So, I mean, but they sell out games. They still have a good fan base. So, I think the hockey team's going to be fine, whether they do great this season or do terrible, which a lot of people are expecting that.
well, they were the Coyotes, so remember
Yeah.
that. They
So,
weren't the greatest.
yeah, I think it'd be cool for a NFL team to go there. It'd be a good city for it.
come to Boise. Screw Salt Lake City. Come to Boise, man.
Jordan, what you got?
So I was thinking about I've been to Portland a couple times, and I was thinking the Portland Lumberjacks for a hockey team. They have the Portland Winterhawks right now, the Western Hockey League, but I just thought like the Lumberjacks would be cool because I don't know, Portland's a cool town, and obviously it's Northwest Forest. And I thought like, man, you could have like the Lumberjacks, like lumber, like get an old hockey stick that's actually wood and like bring it to a game and like have a fake axe on top, but it's like a hockey stick handle, like an
Oh, we're
old
going
cedar
hockey
wood
with
or
it.
something like that. So,
That'd be dope.
but stuff like that,
I
just
made
for
you
like,
a football concept here.
no, yeah, no, you're fine. I was thinking for a hockey one, but NFL, I was thinking too, because I know they're trying to bring a baseball team there for the past probably 10 years, and that hasn't worked out. But I'm always weary about these cities that just have one sport there. It's like you have one sport. Like, are you even really a sports town? Like I always tell people
mean-
with Pittsburgh, it's like they only have football, hockey, and baseball. Like we don't even deal with basketball. It's real men in Pittsburgh. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's real
Shots
sports.
fired at everyone in Philly, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't
Fucking
flop.
pity.
You can't flop in Pittsburgh and get fined for it. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
That's a hot take, dude. You're right though. I mean, that's it, but I do like with Pittsburgh too. They're all the same color. The only city, to my knowledge, that all of their major sports teams that rep the same color, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Yep, for sure.
Shout out Wiz.
Yeah,
Cody, what you got?
man. So I'm a farm kid at my roots, and I always feel like the middle of the country is very ignored when it comes to professional sports in general. So I was going to kind of go away from the major metropolitan areas and slap this bad boy right in Iowa. Give me the Iowa Farm Dogs, dude. Can you imagine? Like, seriously, go Foxborough style, where you take the stadium away from the actual city and put it out there, on
A cornfield?
Yeah, some
500
farmland.
acres of land. And I'm serious, man. Just make a really dope stadium. Probably maybe a dome out there. I don't know. I don't know how the winters are in Iowa, but like I guarantee you,
Cold.
man, you're buying into the fan base of all of those states, Iowa, Nebraska, like all of those people that like all they have is the major college sports, which is dope. But like, jump into a professional football league there in Iowa, man, that's an untapped gold mine if you ask me. And I love that concept logo too. That's sick.
Yeah, that was. I I love it for Iowa. I think that's exactly how you say. I feel the same about like hockey and other sports. Like nothing is represented really in the Midwest other than Denver, Kansas City. Like there's nothing in North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Idaho.
That's
Like
what I
there's
mean.
nothing, you know. So even one of those states, you know, Montana, North Dakota, like people are going to travel and that's like going to be their team because it's like more local. But yeah, I think Iowa would be a great place. Like they're big college football state.
Yeah, I just think like, agriculture is such a big part of my life. I'm passionate about it. I don't know that I would ever be a farmer. That is some, let's talk real men here. Like that's some hard work, man. But you're talking about all of a huge population of people that don't live in these major cities, but are still passionate about football and still want someone. They got to, well, I visited this city, or I've got family in this town, so that's why I'm a fan of the Bears, or I'm a fan of whatever, the Vikings, doesn't matter. But dude, I'm telling you, you slap a team there in the Midwest like that, you're gonna sell some jerseys, you're gonna sell some tickets.
Well, speaking of Midwest, and doesn't really have much to do with farming, but hockey is kind of officially started today. We got 3 games on the docket today. Technically started on Friday, Saturday. But with hockey coming back, I'm excited. It kind of interferes with football because you got games pretty much every day. So got to kind of pick and choose your battles there. But with hockey starting up, um, kind of curious what's your guys' predictions for East versus West, and who do you got taking it all?
Man, so I guess I'll just jump in. I'm really looking forward to this year, and I know you guys are gonna give me a little bit of flack for this pick, but I like the Devils, and I feel like the Oilers have a chance to make it back. I feel like we've been seeing a trend of teams, making it to the finals. You know, at least getting close year after year. I think the Oilers. I don't know if you've seen that clip with Connor McDavid being as heartbroken he was this last year. They're going to make some changes, hopefully necessary ones. I don't know. I think it's tough. There's so many games. There's so many different things that can happen. Obviously, I would love to see the Avs, but I'll take Devils and Oilers this year, man. But no, I don't think the Oilers are going to get it done. I think the Devils do.
I don't
All
even
right.
think the Devils will be a fringe on the playoffs, to be 100% with you. Uh, I'll go. I think it's going to be the Avs and the Bruins. I think Boston, they've had some struggles the last few years in the playoffs. I mean, they blew a 3-1 lead 2 years ago to Florida before they went on to lose in the cup final, and then last year they almost blew a 3-1 lead in the first round of Toronto, and then they eventually went down in the second round to Florida in 6. But I think this is a bounce back year for the Bruins, and I think they get to the cup. But I do think the Avs, hopefully this year they'll get Landeskog back, and I think the Avs will go on to win the cup. I think the cup
I hope you're right.
comes back to Denver. I think the biggest question mark for the Avs this year is just going to be goaltending. So if Georgiev can play well, the Avs can make a deep run, win it all.
Yeah, I like the Avs, Brandon. That's who I'm taking out of the West, and I don't know if it's as bad as
You
Cody's
can't even
picks,
say
but
it out loud.
I'm
Just do it.
I'm taking Toronto. I think this year, Austin Matthews being captain, they didn't get rid of Mitch Marner. Like this team can't make it out of the second round. They might be like one of the most talented teams, top to bottom on paper. Goaltending is going to be a big question for them this year. Um, I don't know. Do I want them to win it? Absolutely not. Like I got the Avs winning it all. I think the Avs are going to win it. Big thing for me, same as Brandon, is their goaltending. But I think Gorgiev can step up and show up in the playoffs and hopefully get Landeskog back. And I don't know, be nice to see the Avs win again. But yeah, Cody, your pick. Like, first off, the Oilers. I thought the Penguins were old. The Oilers are actually the oldest team in the league, so that ain't happening. I'm a real fan. I don't even have the Penguins like maybe making the playoffs because Crosby has another 90-point season as a 37-year-old man. Um, and the Devils, dude. I I mean, they got a goalie this year. Maybe that's going to help, but I don't know. I don't. I'd rather see the Devils over the Rangers or Capitals or something. So we'll see, man. Like I always tell people, like hockey has more parity than any other sport. Like I feel
That's
like,
my thing. Like it's so hard to pick this.
yeah, I feel like any team realistically that's making the playoffs, if you have a goalie that goes on a run and you got a team that's hot,
That's all it takes.
you can run through anybody. So
Yep.
you know, maybe that's with most sports, but with hockey, it's just different. Like you have a star player goes down, like the team steps up and rallies around it and find a way to win, you know. And I always tell people like the best thing about hockey, you know, basketball switched to it, but having 7 game playoffs is you know, from the round one of the Stanley Cup is that's why it, you know, people call it the
It's the
toughest
best.
trophy to win in sports because it truly is like it's awesome. So as much as I love football, that passion for hockey is maybe greater.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I
I
definitely
think
agree
we
with
could
that.
all agree with that.
Jeez, my light was turning on and off. All right, let's take a look this week at some of the GSC main and club. With the club, be sure to keep your eyes on our socials and in the fantasy group for league updates for who is right now looking at the Champions Club going into next year. I did manage to weasel my way in this week, so I'm excited with that. In
Attaboy.
terms of GSC main, um, it's a big week. Number one seeds face
Huge.
off this week. Between
After both of them took an L this week.
Yeah, no more undefeated teams. So both of them went down this week. It'll be interesting to see. Um, oh, Theo, you're cracking me
So
up.
someone's dropping 2 in a row then.
Yeah,
That
one
sucks.
of them's dropping two in a row. It'll make standings really interesting. Jordan, you and I are sitting only one game back behind Steven, so we could have a three-way tie if all of us, if he loses and we both win. Make things interesting going into the second half of the regular season. Um, Seamus is feeling pretty confident, a little maybe big headed in my eyes, but might need to come back down to earth, my friend. You got some big games coming up. You've got 3 wins against bottom 5 teams, so your your time is coming, my friend. Um,
And you know the you're as much as we're bringing Seamus up and kind of talking a little bit of smack to him is like, you know, this only adds fuel to the fire. So if he does come out and beat me this week, he's just going to rub like this in even more. So that's where I'm weary
Oh,
with Seamus.
I
So
hope he
it's just
does. I hope he does.
I want to see things fire off in the chat this week. 7, I got you this week. I'm coming for you. I do want to give a huge shout out in the Reaper League to Whitney. Got
Reaper
the
is
first
alive.
dub. Reaper is alive. So Cody, looks like you're probably
Sorry,
sending
guys.
Bijan for nothing.
Hey, listen, I don't know what else I could have done. Like she started the week off with Mooney. So that's a tough hill to climb, man. She's loaded with Jaden Daniels, Darnell Mooney. She had, here talking about Seamus. Seamus and Whitney in two respective leagues. Tucker friggin' Kraft. 24 points from Tucker Kraft. Come on. Come on, man. That's
tough.
not gonna happen every week.
No.
So I don't know. Sorry, guys. That I thought I put together a decent lineup. I don't feel like I got destroyed, but I mean, she definitely smacked me for sure. So yeah, I
Did
would
she
imagine
tell
it
you who she's
probably.
taken?
I think it's Bijan. Yeah,
I think so
which
too.
which is fine. I mean, if she wants him in the main league, she can probably have him there too. He's not doing shit for me. So I
Uh,
think ADP on like some of the players like that, like I was just, looking at my team. I think there's like 5 or 6 running backs right now that were drafted after Bijan that are
Doing better.
outscoring him pretty like substantially. So, yep, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
But it is looking good. What's your biggest like surprise in our league right now? Because I feel like I look across all of my leagues and it's like I said, we're a third of the way into the season at this point. So we're starting to see some trends across our leagues. I think obviously, certain teams that have certain players are finding their way to the top of the standings, and vice versa. Certain people that obviously shout out everyone that, picked up CMC in the first 3 picks of the draft, shout out Ryan, shout out Hans, probably not doing so hot in your standings right now. So I was
Yeah.
just kind of curious if you guys noticed anything that was, I don't know, kind of an outlier in a sense. Because for
I
think
mean,
me,
just
I think that we're not giving the waiver wire appropriate attention, because there's been a couple of different players that have come off of the waiver wire that are paying off huge for people that they got for essentially free.
shout out Jordan Mason.
Shout out Jordan Mason. Like
there's multiple people this year that I mean, Darnell Mooney, like, man, he sat on my bench this week and I should have played him because it's like, man, he plays almost 95% plus of snaps. Seems like he might be Cousins' favorite target. And even if he's not with London, it's like he's going to throw the ball to both of them. So, yeah, but there's been a lot of guys that have been picked up off of free agency that I think obviously are having, solid years. Probably this is Darnell Mooney has to be his best year already, with what he's done through the first 5 weeks of the season. I mean, any wide receiver coming from Chicago, like, you go to any other team and you have a career year automatically. So,
mhm.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anything's really surprised me. It's just, I don't know, maybe the amount of like injuries to big time players, but I feel like it's kind of probably brought up every year. It's just something that should be expected.
Yeah, I look at like some of the onesie positions too with some of these quarterbacks. Like we talked about it at the beginning of the year about getting an elite quarterback. That's super important. And then you're looking at guys like Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold that are leading the way for some of these teams that are at the top of their standings in their leagues. Brock Bowers, for example, he's the highest scoring tight end right now over Kelsey Andrews, who's been a complete shit show for people. Like,
Yeah, dud.
Dude, let's just touch on tight ends while we're on that topic. Tight ends this year are absolutely just awful. Like, it's so bad. You have a better chance, it seems like, trying to figure out someone off the waiver wire because there's so many tight ends available, and having a chance to actually pick someone up that may go off on the week. I mean, in multiple leagues I have, Kyle Pitts is on waivers. He's available right now. I mean, Trey McBride was on waivers. I picked him up in a league, but like, I'm just amazed that some of these people are dropping these guys, but at the same time, I'm not, because tight ends have been so godly terrible this year.
it's almost like worth it to just full on, like, I'm only
Throw a
streaming
dart
tight
at the
ends. Like,
board. Throw a dart at the board.
yeah,
That's
like,
pretty much what you got to do with tight ends right now, because there's no consistency. I picked up Likely after week 1, didn't do anything, and then
Yeah.
drop him last week. And what does he do to decide to do this week? Oh, be productive. Now, granted,
that-
I'm okay because I have Kincaid, and I'm pretty okay with Kincaid. He's at least saying somewhat consistent throughout the season, but I mean, it's tight
Yeah.
ends are just not really playing well at all. I mean, what's the average points per game for a tight end right now? It's got to be under 10, right?
I would say
Oh, it's
absolutely.
got to be.
In full PPR.
Yeah.
It's bad. Like you have a couple players that have an outbreak 1 week, but and a lot of those guys are either on the bench or on waivers, so no one has them.
I
So
think
how do we combat this? So, like, go ahead, Jordan. I'll let you go because
I
I'm
you're good. I just think like maybe the big thing this year is you're seeing more tight ends used. Like Kansas City was using 4 tight ends last night. You
Yeah.
know, the Ravens with Likely and
Andrews.
Andrews there. You know, even Washington they're running like 3 tight ends. Ertz is out there for like 50% of the snaps. So I think it's almost with running backs, almost how a lot of teams are using 2 guys. You know, um, it's almost like tight ends are I don't even want to say just probably just being used for more for blocking. And if you're open, you're getting the pass and not so many plays being called for tight ends. Like Kelsey had his best game last night with 16 points this season. So that's not typical Kelsey. So I don't know. I don't know what to draw it up to take tight ends out and put kickers in our league.
that's
I,
well,
I
so that's kind of what I was getting at is like, how do we combat this? Because I feel like we have at least some shade of this problem every year with tight ends. Either you have 1, 2, even 3 tight ends that are above and beyond everybody else, or then you look at this year where it's like it's so inconsistent that any one of them could go off at any point. So sometimes the tight end position, as silly as it sounds, is a serious make or break for your matchup for the week, especially in a league like ours where we're putting up similar points week in and week out. If your tight end hits, that's a week winner.
right.
So
I've seen it
I don't
thrown
know, like, is it
around.
worth it to try to bring consistency?
I've seen it thrown around. Just get rid of the position, all in all, in fantasy of having a tight end and just throw in a new flex.
Maybe
But I love the parody of having it.
let's revisit this in 5 weeks and see how we feel. Maybe tight ends turn it around and they become the guys that are putting up 15, 20 points a game. But at this point, if I get 10 from a tight end, I'm ecstatic.
If
You
I
should
get
be.
if I get anything over 7, I'm fine.
I think my highest points for a tight end all year have been 7.2 from Zach Ertz. So it's been sad.
It's
Yeah, looking at my team from last week, Brock Bowers outscored all but one of my position players. He was the second highest scoring position player on my team.
I mean, he's good, but that's not good for you.
He was good enough to get the dub.
Yeah, he's doing good this year. I mean, good for him on that team and that offense. He's about the only one.
That's fine.
yeah.
I'll take that.
Right?
I don't give a shit about the Raiders anyway, so
There are only 2 tight ends that average more than, or actually, I take that back. 1, 2. There are only 5 tight ends that average more than 10 points throughout the season.
Jordan, can you name them?
I probably can't. Obviously, Brock Bowers.
Yep, he's number 1 with 66.5.
I'm gonna say Trey McBride.
Nope.
Damn. Cole Kmet.
Nope.
Wow.
6. He's at 48.9. He's averaging 9.78 PPR.
Who would number 2 be? Like Ty Conklin?
George Kittle.
All right. I
Yeah,
guess
he had a big
big
game.
game last week.
One of the ones we were just talking about with Seamus picking him up last week.
Tyler Kraft because of a 24-point game.
Tucker Kraft.
That's so crazy to me.
And then I wouldn't even Kelsey.
Jake Ferguson.
Nope. Baltimore.
Fergie.
Isaiah Likely.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
And Philly. Cody is on your own team.
Oh yeah, Goddard. I should have known that.
Yes, you should have.
And he was on a bye this
Yeah,
week.
well, I don't play him when he goes off. Every time the 1 week he like had ass points, that's when I decided to play him over Bowers. Whatever, dude. I hate fantasy football.
We all love it.
All right.
So I want to bring something a little bit new this week. I want to see, do you boys have any like superstitions that you do going into the fantasy weekend, or, coming into just the fantasy week? Say, the week starts Wednesday, obviously with waivers kind of going into the week. Do you guys have any superstitions that you do throughout the week?
Go ahead, Jordan, if you got one.
I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, man, I don't know. I don't think I have like any. I don't know if it's a superstition, but pretty much every Sunday I watch Red Zone for like 7 hours straight, and that's not a superstition or anything. It's just something I like doing,
Ritual.
and maybe I'm like,
That's just a Sunday.
yeah, like me watching it is gonna make guys score touchdowns, like because I can have multiple games, when they're multiple screens at once. I don't know. I don't think I have anything that I never really believed in superstitions or luck or stuff like that, like prayers and stuff like that. Like it's all hopes and dreams. Like what's the old saying? Like you can shit in one hand and wish in the other. Like let me know which one fills up.
See which one fills up
You know,
faster.
so you can do whatever luck and superstition you want. Like it all comes down obviously to the players, even actual players that wear the same underwear, same socks, like that's their thing, but is it really making you play better? Like because you're wearing that one piece of underwear when you got 200 receiving yards, like never happened again in your career. You're just wearing some old crusties. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can go and I'll think on it, but I don't think so.
Cody?
Yeah, so two things for me came to mind, and I think I wouldn't call myself superstitious. Maybe I'm a little stitious, but it's kind of like, I guess, reverse superstition to where, me and my jerseys, I'm very passionate about my jersey collection. And I felt like, I love to wear my Broncos jersey on Sunday. And I felt like when I wear the jersey, they play like shit. So I've been taking it off and replacing it with the Get Sunday Covered t-shirt. And if they play well, then, maybe I'll wear the jersey on Monday or, the following Friday before the weekend or something like that. But I do kind of get into stuff like that because I think it's, obviously I'm with you, Jordan. I think it's all, hopes and dreams, whatever. But I think it's like for these players, probably like a mental thing of like that, we're creatures of habit. So just like doing the same thing and holding on to that, like,
It's just for
when
like
when we were
game day
when we
ritual.
were playing hockey
Routine.
together, like my biggest thing getting suited up is I was always put everything on the left side on first. So like, left skate, then right skate, then left shin pad, then right shin pad. Like always, I couldn't screw that up. Like I would tie my left skate and then tie my right skate. So that was like my thing, but it was more of just like, I don't know, having that habit, that kind of like routine, because if it threw it off, like I would think about it constantly, like go relace your skates because you fucked this up, man. Like, I don't know. That's what came to my mind.
Yeah.
What about you,
Yeah,
Bren?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't really have like any kind of ritual or anything in particular. I think the biggest thing for me is if obviously I have a newborn and a toddler, so I'm waking up at some point in the middle of the night on Wednesday. And if I'm awake, if I get through Wednesday night or Tuesday night, I guess in particular, sorry, and I'm up, I'm checking the waiver wire, seeing who is acquired and who's available. And if I want anyone, I'm grabbing them. Otherwise, that's really it. And then the only other thing I guess I really do is Sunday morning when I first wake up, I'm just checking the injury report and I'm just going through my team, debating on any of my flex players. Especially like this last week, I was debating on Bucky Irving, um, Alan Lazard, Tyler Lockett, or there was someone else. Uh, Playing Tank Dell. Like I was picking two of those guys to play for the week. Um, Went with Dell.
Dude, that just sounds like efficient fantasy management.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of where it is. It's just kind of my routine, I guess, per se, waking up Sunday morning before I go to church and um, then just after church, double checking the injury report before the 11 o'clock game start.
Going to church and praying your team wins every Sunday.
No, not necessarily. It's all luck,
I will say,
as you would say,
I will
Jordan.
say,
I
I do feel like the more I watch my fantasy matchup, which I told you guys a couple weeks back, like I love watching the fantasy matchups throughout the day, watching the projections go back and forth. And I feel like the more I watch them, the worse my team does. Like, for example, I had some friends over this weekend. We did a little barbecue, had a good time, and I wasn't as invested into watching the games. I'm trying to host, I'm trying to, entertain and things of that nature. And I wasn't glued to my phone like I normally am on Sundays. And I got the dub. So I feel like the more I watch it, the more I just am just putting that bad juju out there because every single play that doesn't go my way or every one that does, I'm just like, yeah, yeah. Ah.
So that's like the start of it. You like start watching like less football each week, and then like come next season, like you do zero mock drafts, and then coming into the season next year, like you do like an auto draft, semi-human draft, and then you end up
Just
winning the league next
unstoppable,
year.
bro.
And that's how you win the league
Unstoppable.
next year. There's your strategy right there.
I
It's
know
all
what
it's all
Cody's
part of my plan, bro.
I know what Cody's kind of superstition is. He has to do like 50 plus mock drafts before the draft.
And get two of the players he mocked for.
No, whatever, dude. I crush my drafts. I'm not saying I get the best team, but I get the people that I want for sure.
And then when they don't perform, you continue to hold on to them.
No, when they don't perform, I blame people like Seven for sniping Brian Thomas away from me, and then I'm like,
Excuses don't make champions. Hence why you've never been one, my friend.
How would you know that, Brandon? You've never been one either.
I haven't been a champion in our league, but I've been a champion in others. So
there's only one champion in GSC here, boys, and that's me. And you can both call me dad.
Oh. Go watch the stream, Joe.
Sorry, Joe.
Oh man, good stuff. I love this league. All right, guys. We're gonna move it along. We're getting close here, so we're gonna wrap up these next few topics. I did want to get your thoughts, though. We had some interesting news break today. Another hot topic of the week here. The Jets have solved all of their problems. They are coming back to form. Robert Saleh is no more. Not only is he no more, but this boy got walked out by security. What's
I don't
going on
know
in
if
New
they've
York, man?
solved their problems, my friend. I think Saul is just the fall guy for a
100%.
low
I completely
mediocre
agree.
offense.
I completely agree.
So, hot take on this. Because we woke up, I heard about this news and then someone texted about it. For me, like they're replacing him with Sala was a defensive guy in the first place, and they're replacing him with the defensive coordinator. So you're replacing defense with defense. I don't get that. I don't know Sala if he was good players, but yeah, maybe the whole story's not being told to us. But
No, it never is.
I was kind of with Seven with like, coach got fired today. Oh, was it Dennis Allen? No, it was Robert Saleh. Like, you know what? Both teams are 2-3. What's the difference between the Saints and the Jets? They
Well,
both have really good defenses. Their offenses have good playmakers around it, but quarterback's just not performing. So why does Dennis Allen have a job and Robert Saleh does? They're both in their third year.
the Saints started
I
2-0,
can give
correct?
you one guess.
So the Saints have
Yeah,
dropped 3 in a
fat
row.
2-0.
Yeah, the Saints have dropped 3 in a row. Yeah. So that, like, I was thinking about that earlier when Saleh got fired because Seven brought that up about Dennis Allen. And as he likes to call him, shout out to Seven for this. Use Corolla for Derek Carr. Awesome nickname. I love it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this makes the Jets better. I honestly thought if the Jets didn't do anything this year, Saul would get fired at the end of the year. And same with Aaron Rodgers. This would be his last year. But no, I think if you got Jets players, I think this is scary.
Unload them. I unloaded Brees Hall today. So
Maybe Garrett Wilson, dude. Garrett Wilson's just one of those dudes that it doesn't matter if Tim Tebow comes out of retirement. That dude's going to catch balls from somebody. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
well, here's another question. Since we're talking about head coaches, Kevin Stefanski, you think he gets much longer with the Browns? No way, right? What about Doug P?
I feel like
Jacksonville.
we'll be seeing some more for sure.
I don't know how Doug Peterson still has a job. I really don't.
Because they won last week. That's it. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't.
How
I
much
think this
longer
might be a
till
domino
Jameis
effect.
Winston starts games in Cleveland?
That's what I mean. It's like I don't know how much longer we're going to keep telling ourselves that it's the head coach problem in Jacksonville and Cleveland when we know that
It's the
Deshaun
players.
Watson and Trevor Lawrence are both shit.
And Bo Nix and the Broncos are 3-2. Explain that.
Nick's the fix. I don't have to explain nothing, baby.
New England making a change. It's week 5. Guess what? I don't know about throwing Drake May into playing the
Jordan
Texans.
said it best earlier. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, your hot take topic of the week should have been Drake May if he makes it into the second half of this game because the way their offense.
Should we write his eulogy right now?
Yeah, someone's gonna change the Wikipedia, whatever his death date like they did with Brandon Cooks when he got knocked out in that Super Bowl. Someone changed his Wikipedia page. That was his date of death was that Super Bowl. So I'm worried about Drake May. I hope the kid does
Me
good.
too,
but,
dude.
Jacoby Brissett's a big quarterback, and I think he could take a lot more hits than Drake May. So for real, I hope he does good. Hope he's good for the Patriots because yeah, that's a tough situation to be going into with the Patriots right now. Well,
Dude,
with
with this-
well, go ahead.
Nope, it's all you, Doc.
With after that, sad news with the Jets. We got some games of the week coming up. There's some exciting games this week. I looked at some of the matchups and I don't know. I think there could be some sneaky games that people aren't paying attention to with teams looking for a win this week. Cardinals got a big win last week at 49ers. That's my game of the week. Is
How many picks did that run?
that game was ugly. The 49ers should have won it if they had a kicker. But it is what
Moody
it is,
got
man.
hurt early.
Yeah, there's looked like he snapped his ankle. I don't know the actual outcome of
It
his
sure did. That did not look good.
Yeah, it didn't look good. But yeah, I'm doing Cardinals at Packers. I think it's a big game for both teams. I think the Cardinals, man. I think when that offense is rolling with Kyler Murray, I don't know if you guys saw that run he had where he just broke like a 75-yard run, like 18 seconds into the game. He looks good with Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, James Conner. Packers, man, Jordan Love and Jalen Reed. I think they might be a combo to, be feared the next couple seasons here if they keep rolling like they are this year. What about for you guys? Who do you got for the?
Wish I would have traded Joe for him.
Yes, you did.
Hey, at least you still beat him
I'll
this
jump in
week.
here. You're right. I did. How many times have we mentioned that yet? Have we reached 10 yet? I think we got like 4 more to go. Did you guys know I beat Joe this last week?
I see your name.
I'll
down
jump
there.
in here, guys. I like what I'm seeing from Washington right now. I am loving Jaden Daniels. He's my favorite for rookie of the year right now. And watching, I don't know if you guys watched the Baltimore Cincinnati game last week, but it was awesome. It was a lot of fun to watch. Ton of scoring. I thought they looked great. My thing with this game of the week, Commanders versus Ravens, if the Ravens are going to let up, 36 points from a Bengals offense that is, maybe it's the Bengals team that's in shambles right now. I won't call out the offense specifically, but I mean, letting up almost 40 points in a week it's not great. Now, I'm not saying Jaden Daniels is Joe Burrow, but I love the way that the Commanders are playing right now, and I think they make a game out of it. I'm still going to take the Ravens in this matchup, but I do look forward to watching it.
I think Commanders are gonna get that one. They're good, man. Jaden Daniels, like not even rookie of the year, like MVP talks.
Yeah, the only reason I'm going Ravens is it's in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And it's Lamar.
And it's Lamar. You know what I mean? Like, I think the Ravens are going to sneak out a win, but I think Jaden Daniels shows his true colors here. Terry McLaurin's going to have 2 touchdown week with 200 yards, I hope.
Me too.
Because I
have him in the league. Yep. I'm down with that.
I'm cool
no,
with that.
I just, yeah, I'm excited for that game.
Me too.
Yeah, but I like the Ravens in that game as well, with you, Cody. My matchup of the week, Lions and Cowboys. I think this is going to be a slugfest. I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. I like the Lions this week in this game, but I sure do hope CD and Dak figure out whatever the heck they need to figure out, because they have not been on the same page at all.
Yeah.
I love this take from you, Brandon. And I too look forward to this game. And I think this is one of those games where we're going to learn a lot about both of these teams in this game. Just because you said, like, whether it's a slugfest or it's not, I think both of these teams have to step up where they're lacking. And we're going to see both sides, because Detroit doesn't have that great of a defense. Dallas needs to figure out what they're doing. Like you said, with CD and Dak, I think it's going to be a good one, dude. I think I'm going to take the Lions also, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that game's a shootout. Hope it's a high scoring game. I have Rico Dabble, and he's come on as the Cowboys' main running back. That's why I just held on to him on my bench, and kind of happy to have him now. So, I think it was maybe you, Brandon, that I don't know. I got a little bit of flack from somebody about not drafting CD Lamb over Justin Jefferson, and I had CD Lamb last year, and he had a great year for me last year. I will not ever take that back. Like, thank you, CD.
He got you the championship.
But I just looked at it and thought there's no way that him and Dak are going to repeat this performance they had this year. And so far, Jefferson with old Sam Darnold, Mr. Ghost up in Minnesota there, having a great year. He's maybe like the number 3 or 4 wide receiver this year. So, but no, yeah, I think the Cowboys will figure it out. They need to figure it out on defense, because that defense is not the same as it was.
Well, they also have injuries too. Parsons
injuries.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think it's a high scoring game, but I got the Lions. I think the Lions are going to run all over the Cowboys.
Jordan, I want to jump back to your game because we didn't pick your game. I do like the Packers.
I'll take the Pack
in that matchup as well.
I'm going to take the Cardinals in like a 40-37 game. I think this one's going to be a high score. I think
a high score. Jordan's telling you pick the over.
Yeah, I think
fire up your Cardinals and Packers, man.
Jordan Love and Kyler Murray both over 300 yards type game. 200 yards for Marvin Harrison.
24 points.
I don't think that's happening. I think Jalen Reed's going to have a big week. I don't know. I think this game's just going to be a crazy shootout. I think these offenses can both go off. So I'm excited for all these games, to be honest with you. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Do we have a count, Brandon, on our picks so far this year? I think in next week's episode, we need to recap where we stand as far as our correct picks for these games of the week.
Don't have a pick.
I can tell you.
I don't have a counter yet. I can create one.
I can tell you that for our GSC Pick'ems League, man.
My ass.
Well, yeah, you are, but it's sweet, dude. There's shout out 7 leading the way with 47 correct picks right now. Shout out Andrew as well. He's right up there with 47. Steven in a 3-way tie for 6th place. Technically, it's like 3rd, but
Bro, Steven went off last week with his picks. I don't know what
Yeah.
went through his head. He picked the Giants. He picked the Cardinals. Like,
Wow.
he had the upset for those games. I mean, he had some
Yeah.
wild picks out there this week, and I was just like, golly, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out Brandon. Nice meeting you in the
In our watch party Thursday
watch
night.
party last week.
Yeah. That was sick.
Nice.
Couple of names here in our pick'ems. TP Plumber 212 holding it down. Would love to meet you at some point, man. Looking good in the pick'ems. Big Damo, the winner of our Survivor League, actually, up there in the top 10 for our pick'ems as well. Which, by the way, Brandon, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Survivor League. We can
Mhm.
restart that. So
Yeah, we'll
go check
fire
your,
off
go check your DMs, man.
check my DMs.
Yeah, for the Survivor League, we can restart it.
Oh, I'll start one up. We'll start a new one. It'll be live. We'll start one up right now.
It's not
It'll
like we have
be
anything
called
else
a
going on,
Second
right?
Chance Survivor League. I know, right?
Yeah,
Theo's
we're not busy.
going
Go ahead and just start
crazy.
that right now. We're good.
Straight up. We'll have that available tomorrow within the group. It'll be posted on socials. So be sure to join if you want, and make sure you get your picks
Yeah,
in. Hopefully, people
I'm looking
survive
at
longer than 4 weeks this year, or this
dude.
round.
I'm looking at some of these other leagues around Get Sunday covered. And we won't go into the championship league standings right now, but I'm looking at some of these other teams, and I think we're gonna have us a burner of a league for the championship, the GSC Champions League next year. It's looking pretty spicy. Which, by the way, you guys, if you are interested in this, again, keep following our socials, keep paying attention to this stuff, because what we're going to do is once this fantasy season is over, we get a list of everybody that's actually in the league. And we're going to start doing some off-season meetings so we can come together, decide on scoring settings, roster settings, things of that nature, to make this as fair and as even for everybody as possible next year. Because I personally am looking very much forward to this, even if I'm not a part of it. So I can't wait to see what happens next year, and we are going to try to do some prizes. So
Got some cool stuff
Keep
in
it-
store.
keep it on the back burner.
Sweet.
Nice hoodie, by the way, Brandon. That's sweet.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Coming soon, folks. We got some GSC hoodies coming out to a store for your purchasing. This is pretty nice. It's actually embroidered on the front and then on the back.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
it's hoodie season.
Getting cold. Football weather.
Got the shield. Got those. Store working out some kinks still.
Working on it.
But it should be opening soon. Once it's open, y'all can go purchase whatever you want. We'll have hats, beanies, t-shirts, hoodies, polos, crew necks, stuff along those lines. There's even whiskey glasses, beer glasses, stuff along those lines. So, some cool concepts getting out right now. We'll go from there. Once we kind of work out the last few kinks. Otherwise, I mean, I'm excited for you guys to be able to get some of this. Quality on these is super nice. Cody, I know you got yourself a hoodie as well.
Sure did.
Do you have it around you?
Not within a reasonable distance for me to go and get it right now, but I will tell you that it is good.
So Cody has our other hoodie design, which is the Fantasy Football Club logo that's embroidered here on the front, just a lot bigger and across the whole chest, nothing on the back.
Looks comfy.
Cody will wear it
Sounds
next
good.
week. I'll tell him to wear it
Just
next week.
might. There you go. If it
but-
ever cools off up here in Boise, I might.
92
It's
degrees.
85 degrees, bro. Dude, I'm
Amazing.
over it.
It's hot.
I'm over it. It's hockey season. Cool off a little bit.
Right?
Yeah, it's
We're
hockey
we're all
season.
ready for it.
All right, boys. Well, that'll do it for this week's episode. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and follow if you haven't already.
Hey, drop a
We
question.
appreciate you
Someone
guys.
drop a question.
Drop some questions in the comments.
We want to hear from you.
Make sure
Definitely.
you pay attention. Next Tuesday, we'll have a post going Q&A. Drop those questions in the Q&A, and we'll address them on the episode. But be sure to hit us up to always get your guys' Sundays covered. Till next week, peace.
Peace.
Later.